Did you know why our big bro Kyojiro wasn't that shocked when he realized he was going to die? And do you know why Mitsuri has pink and green hair? In this video, I'll show you some interesting facts about the Hashira from Demon Slayer. If you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe to support us.
Let's start with the water Hashira, Tomioka Giyu. Giyu's old design looked like this. Overall, it's similar to what we see in the current version, but in this version, he has arm guards, a cloth wrap around his waist, and slightly baggier pants. Plus, we even get to see Giyu smile. If you look closely, you'll see that Giyu hardly ever smiles in the story. He's a very quiet Hashira, and the other Hashira don't seem to like him very much. I wonder if he has any friends at all. The only time we see him smile in the anime is when Giyu sneaks off with Shinobu and Tanjiro to eat his favorite food, salmon simmered with daikon radish. But even though he has a hard time getting along with others, one of the few people Giyu opens up to and has a special relationship with is Nezuko-chan. If you remember, Giyu is the first demon slayer to trust Nezuko, and he even put his own life on the line to protect her. Furthermore, after the story ends, Nezuko is the one who mends Giyu's clothes. And like a big brother, he sends her many gifts, like kimonos, various outfits, and accessories. He takes very good care of her, so much so that a certain yellow-haired boy gets extremely jealous, thinking Giyu is a rival for her affection. Another thing is, the main reason Giyu is often late for missions is because his crow is very old. Besides being forgetful and sometimes getting information wrong, it also flies slowly. That's why Giyu often arrives late to important battles.
Next up is the Hashira who brought many of us to tears, Rengoku Kyojiro. Have you ever wondered why our big bro always says delicious every time he eats? At first I just thought it was a running gag, but after doing some research, I found out that in the old days, warriors who didn't know which day would be their last were taught to live in the present and make the most of every moment. That might be the reason why Kyojiro says delicious with every bite. It means he's savoring every bit of his food to the fullest, making it all worthwhile. This also helps explain his final moments. The reason our big bro wasn't that shocked when he realized he was going to die is because he had no regrets at all. Because he had done everything to the best of his ability, he was ready to die at any moment. For those wondering why Kyojiru's hair is yellow and orange, there are actually two explanations. The first is that when a woman in the Rengoku family is pregnant, she must spend 2 hours every 7 days staring at a flame. It's said that this practice causes the men in the family to be born with hair the color of flames. The other story, which Kyojiro said himself, is that his ancestors loved shrimp tempura so much, they ate so much of it that their hair turned the color of tempura. But don't let his cheerful attitude fool you. There's a high chance he's a genius. Many of the other Hashira have said that Kyojiro does everything quickly. He eats fast, thinks fast, changes his mind fast, and makes decisions fast. He can also sense others' feelings and understand what they're thinking. In short, these are the traits of a very intelligent person. Okay, so it might not be officially confirmed that he's a genius, but did you know that after his father stopped training him, Kyojiro mastered every form of flame breathing and became a Hashira just by reading 3 instructional scrolls? If that's not genius, I don't know what is. Speaking of his father, the first Demon Slayer fan book mentions that the reason Kyojiro doesn't have a pet is because his father dislikes animals and forbade him from having one. That old man has a lot of issues. After joining the Corps, he defeated lower rank 2, Hyro, and was promoted to Hashira. The reason Kyojiro never had a successor is because flame-breathing training is incredibly harsh, and most of the children who tried to learn from him ran away very quickly. Additionally, Satoshi Hino, Kyojiro's voice actor, actually practiced his swordsmanship in real life. But the most surprising fact is that Kyojiro's character is based on someone the author, Koyoharo Gotoge, knows in real life. When I saw this, I really wanted to know who that person is, but unfortunately the author has never revealed their identity. Next up, the sound Hashira, Uzui Tengen. Have you ever wondered how Tangen could handle those 3 troublemakers so easily in the Entertainment District arc? I think managing those 3 is no easy task. But if we look closely, we'll see that Uzui's 3 wives are very similar to the 3 main characters. Makiyo is loud, confident, and a bit wild, just like Inosuke. Suma cries easily, is overly dramatic, and a coward, just like Zenitsu. And Hinatsuru is calm, composed, and a smart fighter, just like Tanjiro. When I saw this, I understood he's just used to it. But after realizing this, I can never look at his 3 wives the same way again. The reason Tangen has multiple wives is because in the Uzui clan, Tangen was raised as a ninja. When the sons of the clan turn 15, the clan leader chooses 3 wives for them based on their personality compatibility. Actually, Suma wasn't originally chosen to be Tangen's wife, her younger sister was. But Suma had a crush on Tangen, so she jumped in and took her sister's place, and somehow she ended up becoming his wife. Tangen actually had 8 siblings, making 9 in total. Their father was a bit of a psychopath and trained his children very harshly. This resulted in 3 of Tangen's siblings dying during training. The remaining 6 children were blindfolded and forced to fight in a death match. In that event, Tangen's younger brother killed 2 siblings, and Tangen himself killed 2 more. When he opened his eyes and realized he had killed his own family members, he was horrified and left the clan, not wanting to be part of that vicious cycle of familial murder anymore. After leaving, Tangen even considered cosplaying as Itachi and going back to deal with his father and remaining brother. But in the end, he couldn't bring himself to kill any more of his family, so he gave up the idea. Tangen's special ability is his incredibly sharp hearing. We've seen Tanjiro smell things from underground, right? Well, Tangen can hear things from underground. His hearing is so good that he can listen and know that there's a cave system beneath him. And because of this amazing hearing, he was able to create his own sound breathing. But it's not just his hearing that's impressive. In the Hashira arm wrestling contest, Tangen ranked as the 2nd strongest. He's pretty formidable. This was Tangen's initial design. He had a slim build, not the muscular type we know now. His face was covered in bandages to hide his true identity, and he wore a sleeve on one arm because he was afraid of getting a tan. Overall, he had a bit of a Chunibyo bad boy vibe, which I think is pretty cool, but personally I prefer the muscular, unmasked version we see in the series. After Tangen lost an arm and an eye in the entertainment district, if you pay close attention, besides Zenitsu's master, Tangen is the only character in the story we know of who retired from being a demon slayer because his body was no longer fit for combat. This doesn't include those who retired due to old age or died. Another tidbit from the fan book is that Tangen and Gyu became friends after the main story ended. It also says that if Tangen had children, he would let Gyu hold them. I'm really happy for Gyu. He finally has a friend.
Next up, the Wind Hashira Shinazugawa Sanami. First off, Sanami is the only character in the story we know of who hunted demons before even joining the Corps. And he didn't even use a Nichiren sword. The only things he used were gardening tools. The main reason he was able to defeat demons was because Sanami is a Marechi, meaning he has extremely rare special blood, similar to Kyoshi, the boy who was captured by Kyogai. If you don't remember, Marechi blood is highly intoxicating to demons. If a demon consumes a person with this special blood, the power and nutrients they gain are equivalent to eating 50 to 100 normal humans. Marechi blood is already incredibly rare, but Sanami's blood is even more special than a typical Marechi's because it can disrupt a demon's senses. His blood can make demons dizzy and slow their movements. This allowed Sanami to immobilize demons and trap them until sunrise, letting the sun burn them to ash. Despite his aggressive appearance, Sanami is someone who will do anything to protect the ones he loves. He doesn't care if he has to risk his life fighting demons, or if he's hated or misunderstood and seen as a bad person. Knowing this, it's easier to understand that he had his personal reasons when he stabbed Nezuko. I'm sure someone has wondered why Sanami wears his uniform open. After looking it up, the answer is, it's not because he's hot or his shirt is torn. It's simply because he wants to show off his abs. In short, the man is very confident. Another thing is that Sanami and Muzan have the exact same height and weight. Just as Muzan is the demon that other demons fear the most, Sanami is the demon slayer that other demon slayers fear the most. And the Hashira Sanami is closest to is Oanai.
Speaking of which, let's move on to the next one, the serpent Hashira, Iguro Oanai. First, the snake that Oanai keeps as a pet is named Kaburamaru.
Next, Oanai is physically very weak. He's almost the weakest among the Hashira. The only person he has more physical strength than is Shinobu. But even though he's ranked second to last in terms of strength, he was the only Hashira who could fight Muzan effectively before receiving his Demon Slayer mark. Oanai is another swordsman in the series who doesn't use a standard katana. His wavy, noodle-like sword was forged by Kanamori Kozo, who is the son of the chief of the swordsmith village. I'm sure if you've seen Oanai's sword, you've wondered, just like me, how he even unsheathes it. The answer is, he draws it from the side. Can you even still call it a sword? Additionally, Oanai had a past trauma that caused him to develop an extreme fear of women. He tried to approach and talk to the female demon slayers in the core, but it didn't do much to help his fear. That is, until he met Mitsudi. For him, it was love at first sight. And it wasn't just Oanai who was shocked by Mitsudi's beauty. His snake, Kabudamaru, was also shocked by his master's sudden change and bit him. Once he fell for her, he started to show it clearly. Normally, Oanai doesn't like to eat much, finding it annoying, troublesome, and a hassle. He actually eats the least of all the Hashira, but whenever he sees Mitsudi eating, he suddenly gets hungry and joins her. Unfortunately, the two don't have many sweet moments in Demon Slayer, but that's not a problem. If they don't have enough screen time in this story, they can just show up in another one. In chapter 137 of the manga Tonikaku Kawaii, or Fly Me to the Moon, we can see these two having a secret sweet moment in that story. But even though Oanai is head over heels for Mitsudi in Demon Slayer, in real life his heart has already been stolen by another woman. That's because Kenichi Suzumura, the voice actor for Oanai, is actually married to Maya Sakamoto, the voice actor for Tamayo. Honestly, I think their voices sound great together.
So let's move on to the love Hashira, Kanroji Mitsuri. As I mentioned before, the food in this story is a bit strange. It's said in the story that Mitsuri ate so much sakura mochi that her hair color changed because of it. And speaking of food, Mitsuri doesn't just love sakura mochi. To be precise, she just loves eating in general. If there were an eating contest, no other Hashira could possibly beat Mitsuri. She can easily eat 100 sticks of dango. And because she eats so much, most of the money she earns is spent on food. Mitsuri's body is more special than others. She is incredibly strong. She could easily lift a heavy rock even as a child. Before becoming the love Hashira, Mitsuri was a student of Kyojiro. The problem was, flame breathing was too difficult and she wasn't very good at it. So she adapted flame breathing and created her own style, love breathing. And if you look closely, you'll notice that many of the names of her love-breathing techniques are related to cats. That's right, Mitsudi is a cat person. She even had a cat as a pet when she was a child. But to use love-breathing to its full potential, Mitsudi can't use a standard sword like others. The weapon she actually chose is a whip. And this thing is not easy to store, everyone. Mitsudi has to fold it multiple times to be able to fit it into her scabbard. As for her unusually sexy uniform, we have to talk about it. The reason for it is a perverted Kakushi who wanted to see her in a revealing outfit. So the uniform ended up being open-chested with a short skirt. The issue is, Mitsudi is too kind and considerate, so she didn't dare ask for a different uniform and chose to wear it instead. When Oanai saw that Mitsudi was uncomfortable with the short skirt, he got her a pair of socks as a gift to cover her legs. Oh, and I just noticed that Mitsudi, the love Hashira, is actually terrible at love. It's very ironic, everyone, because Mitsudi actually likes Oanai too, but she's too shy to confess. Okay, I get that she has trauma from being rejected a lot in the past, but how can the love Hashira be afraid to confess her love? Another thing is that Mitsudi often asks Shinobu for love advice. The problem is, neither of them is good with relationships, so things get out of hand. And every time they talk, it's always strange. For example, when they talk about techniques for finding a boyfriend, the conversation somehow turns into an analysis of heart rates, blood pressure, and brain responses. Honestly, those two probably shouldn't be giving each other advice.
Next up is the insect Hashira, Kocho Shinobu. The weakest Hashira in the group, she is the only one who uses poison to kill demons. Shinobu's preferred fighting style focuses on thrusting her stinger-like sword to inject demons with poison. Besides the poison on her blade, Shinobu has also ingested poison into her own body. At first, we thought the amount of poison in her body was 70 times the lethal dose for a demon, but in the collected manga volumes, the author corrected this to 700 times. Simply put, if any demon touches her blood, they will dissolve instantly. Shinobu loves anything related to poison. Even her pet goldfish is named Fugu, which means pufferfish. Since there are only 2 female Hashira, Shinobu is especially close to Mitsuri. Besides talking about love, Shinobu often consults Mitsuri about her personal problems, and Mitsuri likes to teach Shinobu how to cook. Unlike Mitsuri, however, Shinobu is not as gentle as she appears. That same perverted Kikuchi tried to give Shinobu a revealing uniform as well, but when she received it, she didn't say a word. She just burned it right in front of the pervert's face. That's how Shinobu got a standard uniform. The quiet and composed demeanor we see from Shinobu is not her true personality. In the past, she was much more outspoken, but because she looked up to her calm and gentle older sister, Kanai, as a role model, after her sister's death, she tried to walk in her footsteps.
The next one is the youngest in the group, the Miss Hashira, Tokito Muichiro. Muichiro became a Hashira just 2 months after joining the Corps. He was only 14 years old at the time. He is also one of the few who was able to defeat a demon before officially becoming a demon slayer. Muichiro's immense talent likely comes from being a descendant of the Tsugikuni clan, the same clan that produced the strongest swordsman, Yorichi, and the strongest demon, Kokushibo. You'll notice that Muichiro likes to wear oversized clothes that are too big for him. He does this intentionally so that his enemies can't predict his movements. Another thing he has in common with Kyojiro is that Muichiro can't have pets, but the reason is a little different. In Muichiro's case, his crow is very jealous and will throw a tantrum, so he has to go without one.
And now let's finish strong. The 27-year-old Stone Hashira, whose hobby is playing the flute, Himejima Gyomei. First, Gyomei is one of 3 Hashira who has a personal connection to a 12 Kizuki. In Shinobu's case, it's Doma, Upper Moon 2, who killed her sister. In Muichiro's case, it's Kokushibo, Upper Moon 1, who is his ancestor. As for Gyomei, his connection is with Kyagu, Upper Moon 6, who was one of the orphans Gyomei cared for before becoming a demon slayer. Actually, Gyomei wasn't blind from birth. The reason he is blind is that he suffered from a high fever when he was a child. The loss of his sight made his other senses incredibly sharp. Anyone who tries to attack him or throw things at him, he knows it all. In fact, his senses are even sharper than when he had his sight. In the Hashira arm wrestling competition, Gyomei took first place. Tanjiro and Inosuke have even said that Gyomei is likely the strongest demon slayer in the entire Corps. And just like Muichiro, Gyomei became a Hashira in just 2 months after joining. But despite his tough appearance, Gyomei is a cat person, just like Mitsuri. He often talks to her about cats. Oh, and did you all know that Inosuke once challenged Gyomei? Of course, it didn't end well. Our little boar got his head slammed into the ground. And the last thing I can't leave out, which I'm sure everyone is wondering, is why Gyomei cries all the time. I've tried to find information on this, but I couldn't find any clear confirmation. If anyone knows, please let us know in the comments.
If you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe to support us.